I want to inform us that by the Chief Executive Director of the institution, Engineer Dr. Sani Mayaya, choose to host this after the initial hosting institution could not meet up, and he has made it possible for us to have at least the breakfast and the lunch, which we have actually arranged. And I want to assure you that anything you need, let us just know. I want to recognize the rector of the institution, person of Engineer Dr. Sani Mayaya, who is also an engineer. All the principal officers, I so much recognize them. Our assessors, the chairman of the panel is retired but not tired from the service of the Local Government Service Commission. He is the Director of Works until he retired, and currently is the chairman National Electricity Regulatory Commission for Osun State, in person of Engineer Odebowale Yisao Ayinla. He's also the chairman Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineer, who is, by God's grace, come in October, he will be hosting all electrical electronics engineers in Osun State here. I said all tribal professionals in Nigeria will come down to Osun for a whole week program for this Institute of International Conference of an Exhibition on Telecommunication and Power. The other assessors in the panel, we have Engineer Akande from Osun State Waste Management Board. We have Engineer Akande is a mechanical expert. We have Engineer Biola, who is also the chairman, Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, Osun State Chapter. Is one of the person standing beside him is Engineer Abidin Odebumi. He is also Director of Works in local government. I want us to take this thing as a serious exercise, and you have to relax your mind. Nobody is crucifying anybody. Just tell us what you have done and how you have done it. And at the end of the exercise, we are going to pick the best 3 from national diploma, the best 3 from higher national diploma, and the best 3 from staff innovation project. At the end of the day, all those people will go and represent Southwest Zone in Abuja. So let us, the chairman of the panel will come up to give us the details on the components expected of you. I will not say anything. He will say much. By the grace of God, this competition is organized, the 5th competition, and that of staff is the 2nd one. By committee of deans of polytechnic engineering in Nigeria. As we are doing it here, they are doing the same in North Central, South South, Southeast, Northeast, and Northwest. All this is zones. We bring their winners to Abuja for the final contest on July 12th. This Compodet is well known, and they are in charge of the engineering program in all the polytechnic, monotechnic, innovation establishments. Is established by Koren. As we have it in polytechnic system, we have it in the university. They call that of university as Compodet. They too, they are organizing this very particular program as well. So I will not like, I'm the current chairman of Compodet. The coordinator for the Southwest Zone is on his way. He has a little challenges. He will soon join us. The moment he come around, he will have 1 or 2 words with you. Before we finished the program, the director also will come and say 1 or 2 words, share 1 or 2 words with you as well. I want to wish you the best, and I believe Southwest, you will represent Southwest well on July 12th in Abuja. Thank you. Engineer Latu.
Thank you, our Dean and the Chairman, Compodet. I want to call upon all our the assessor to come and give us the rule of the engagement, the rules that are guiding this competition for the participants to be able to get themselves acquainted with the rules before the competition will begin proper. Thank you, sir.
Don't let me just jump the protocol, please. We have to recognize the chief host of this program, that is Engineer Dr. Mayaya, Director of Federal Polytechnic. The chairman of Compodet is no other person other than the Engineer Dr. Dada Adekunle Bolani. The Dean School of Engineering, Federal Polytechnic, You are recognized, please. The Dean School of Engineering in Federal Polytechnic, Ileoluji, highly recognized. The students and my co-panel members, ladies and gentlemen, I think as usual, I want to talk to the students who are in this program. Please, don't be confident with yourself. You must have all done wonderfully well before you are. First of all, count yourself lucky that you are among the people contesting here today. And not just lucky, consider yourself, by the grace of God, among the best. Because I'm sure, with the caliber of people I'm having here, they wouldn't have brought somebody who is not capable to be here. First of all, count yourself lucky and a round of applause for yourself, please. In the competition, there's always a winner will always emerge. And we are fortunate to be here to come and decide who is going to be the best. We might not know the best, God knows the best. But we try as much as possible to be very objective, very realistic in selecting who and who will win today's program. And God will guide us better. What and what are we going to consider on your project? I made a component we will consider to hand you marks. 1. Problem and innovations. Problems and innovation, that is 5 marks. Background and related work, that 10 marks. Approach and uniqueness, that 10 marks. Local content, that is, you know what I mean by that. As much as you can make use what is available within this environment. That is, local content is going to carry 10 marks. Visual presentation, that's why I'm going to carry 15 marks. You know what I mean by the time you present yourself, we know whether you actually know what you are doing and whether you can present what you have done very well. That's why we carry 15 marks. Then, knowledge of the research area. Apart from your presentations, people will definitely know whether you actually know what the research you have carried out, but the in-depth of your knowledge on the research carried out. Then, another component which is very important. Okay. Response to questions is another important that is 10 marks. Significance of contributions, that's 15 marks too. Practical, yes. Practical, yes, the way you can manage your project, the practical demonstration will always carry 15 marks. If you add all this together, it's going to be 100. That is the basis on which you are going to be assessed before we hand you any mark. If you say you have 20 marks, 50%, 30%, all these components be gathered together and decide who and who get the best and better result. Please don't relax. Feel comfortable. Nobody is the best way you can get yourself done. Don't assume that you are talking to your parents here. Be comfortable. Present yourself, relax, and see yourself as the best student here today. I think I don't need to talk to our lecturers here who are having 1 or 2 things to present. It has been their daily activities. They cannot be intimidated. So you students, please don't be intimidated. Just relax and put in the best. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Ready? Okay. When we get there, we tell them now. Checking project and staff project. And I think to start from the beginning, I think we have to start from the ND. After ND, we go to the HND, and then finally to our guys who are here, who has come out to come and teach us one or two things. For HND, Abi? Ilaro, Abi? For HND, Abi?
So maybe we should start from the ND.
ND, okay, how many do you have?
We have 2 from Ilaro, 1 from Ede.
Okay, 2 from
Okay.
is there now.
I didn't even know.
Come and you can get it from here.
Okay, they have even registered. Okay. One from ND. Okay. They didn't have HND. Okay. So maybe we should start from HND. I'm not sure if they are ready now. Idris Usman Timileyin should step forward. Okay. Mr. Idris Usman. Okay. Slide.
Hello everyone, my name is Idris Usman. I'm from Mechanical Engineering Students, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. My project title is Construction and Working Principle of a Dust Extractor. We have the introduction to dust extractor, the main objective of carrying out the project, problem encountered during construction of the project, contribution to knowledge, component parts, working principle, methodology, material cost, safety measure, conclusion and recommendation, reference. Introduction. So, a dust extraction, also known as a dust collector, is a type. It's a system designed to remove dust and other airborne particles from a work environment. You know, in a dusty environment, let's take for instance now, a cement industry. In a cementing industry, they must ensure that they make proper control of dust, how to prevent dust from affecting people. It's preventing health hazard and improving overall workplace safety. That is by doing maintenance of dust, that is carry out the dust process extraction. We try to prevent health hazard. let's say for instance now, our safety is our life. We know that if we try to maintain safety about dust, let's say for example now about dust can cause damage to lung of woman, affect the respiratory system, so that's just about it. And improving overall workplace safety, especially in industrial and construction settings. Yeah. Let's proceed. Objective. The primary objective of a dust extractor is to remove dust, as I said earlier, to remove dust and other particles matter from the air and surrounding environment, thereby improving air quality and creating a safer, healthier working environment. In a dusty environment, you can't work. Let's say, for example, in a woodwork milling shop, if you try to work there and you are not given safety PPEs that you're supposed to work with, maybe nose mask, respiratory organ that you need, you are not given, thereby it will affect your life and you be at health risk. Instead, these devices are crucial for various settings, include industrial plants. They are using dust extractor in industrial plants, woodworking shop, and I said in woodworking mill, and even homes. At our various homes, we breathe in air. Assuming the air is contaminated, from there we can get disease and help to reduce allergy, prevent respiratory problem, and project equipment. Next. Problem encountered during the construction of dust excavator. You have the clogged filters, you have leak in the system, blower or motor issues, that is electric motor used for powering the mechanism, and blockage in ductwork. The ductwork is the passageway for air to enter, that is the dust air to enter. Next. That's a typical example of a dust extraction. That's maintenance process. You are trying to fix the electric motor. Contributing to knowledge. Dust extractor contribute to knowledge and enhancing workplace safety and environmental protection through efficient dust collector. We must make sure that our dust extractor is very efficient and carry out the operation we want it to carry. Reduce health risk. By there, we will be free from health risk and other diseases, and improving air quality. Sustainable development goals. It reduce air pollution. As I said earlier, that's SDG 3, good health. SDG 11, sustainable cities. And we have promote cleaner workplace environment. We try to maintain our environment by packing away all the dust through the dust extractor. We will be free from disease and minimize respiratory health risk, as I said earlier before. Next. Goal 3, good health and well-being. I've said it earlier, sustainable city and community. Let's take for instance, in this Federal Polytechnic Laro, as we are here, assuming there's a cement industry inside the school, it will be very difficult for even students to work freely without the use of dust extractor. That's why dust extractor is very essential. Another one, life on land targets, climate action and affordable and clean energy. Component part of a dust extractor. We have the airtight container. We have the vacuum source, that is the fan or blower. He said for the vacuum source, it generates the airflow and suction it to draw dust into the extraction. It has an inlet that sucks dust inside. He said it can be a fan or a blower powered by a motor. Motor is electric motor that is being grounded beside the fan or blower. The speed of the motor is 1,000 revolutions per minute. We have the ductwork also. This is a system of pipe or tube. It may be flexible. They say that to connect the various parts of the extractor, directing the airflow and dust from the source to the dust collector. We have a dust collector and we also have filters. Next. This is a assembly diagram for dust extractor, and this is a typical diagram for dust extractor. We have the blower, we have the motor mounted beside, we have the duct, and we have the separate ring. We have dust bed, filter, and so on. Working principle of a dust extractor. It says a dust extractor is a dust collector, is a device used to improve air quality. I've said it earlier on. The working principle, air intake. It sucks in dust laden air. It enters do the dust extraction through the intake duct connected to a source. And the source is being connected to is the motor. We have the filtration and separation. That is, after the dust is being transferred from the laden, from the dust into the separator. The separator has a filter inside. It may be, we have different type of filters. So filter is also there. And cyclonic separation is also a part of it. This is a typical diagram of a dust extractor. The one beside there is the motor and the impeller. Material cost. Material cost, the amount of cost I spend on carrying out the project. You have the dust chamber, which is body mile steel sheet, 70,000. Blowing house, made steel. We have impeller fan, aluminum or steel, electric motor. The filter is used for separating dust from the clean air. And we have the ducting pipe. Pipe serves as a passageway for air to enter into the system. We have construction. How will I construct the dust extractor? I perform welding fabrication process by fabrication of the cyclone chamber, construction of the frame, creation of inlet for dust to enter, and outlet duct for fresh clean air to exit. Installation of centrifugal fan and electric motor is also there. Attachment of filter. Filter is used for separating dust from clean air. Painting and sealing. I painted the framework. That is, framework as it serves as the chassis or layout for the dust extractor. And safety precaution needed to carry out when we are working with a dust extractor. We must use our safety Google when welding. Welding helmet, heat resistant glove. We have safety boots. Welding and cord safety. Ensure when you are working in a ventilated place before carrying out the construction of dust extraction. Next. Conclusion. The dust extraction is an essential equipment in industrial and construction environments where dust generation is frequent. So it plays a vital role in improving air quality, protecting work health, maintaining equipment efficiency. If there's too much of dust on an equipment, be it a machine, be it a tool, and it's not maintained properly, with time, too much of dust can spoil the machine as it may not work properly again. So by effectively removing airborne particles, the dust extractor helps prevent health hazard. Our life will be safe from health disease, reduce operational downtime, and support compliance with environmental and safety regulation.
Your time is up. Thank you. Thank you. Question. You have to stay here. Thank you for the presentation. We receive questions from the panelists and also from the audience. If you have any question from the member of the audience, please. Any question from the member of audience, whether contribution or observation or comments? Okay, if there is none, then we should move over to the panelists. If there is any question.
Good morning once again, everybody. My dear student presenter, what innovation do you think you impact or you put to this mechanism that an ordinary somebody that is not an engineering student cannot do?
Firstly, the innovation this dust retractor bring that and the person that's not a non-engineering student cannot do is, firstly, it comprises of electric motor, and non-engineering student will not be able to work on electric motor, will not be able to know about it. You have the principle of operation. A non-engineering student may not know principle of operation or how that dust retractor works or not. And with this innovation, I think in our cities, our environment, the federal government or the state government may try to implement and bring newer or try to develop newer dust retractors, help to purify our environment at large.
Well done. Having a look at your presentation, you know, it is a localized innovation and solution to issue of air pollution. But my concern now with this, I was expecting to see something like probably, you know, the capacity of what kind of the dust that it can extract. Then what is the practical application of it? How will it be installed? Where? Let's assume that, okay, within this environment now, so it is dust laden. So how do we install it? You just take us through the working principle only, but the applications, the application of it. And you know, okay, are you saying the same particular dust extractor that you constructed can work for all dust? Okay, then you should. I was expecting something, at least your limitation. Let me put it that way. I was expecting, well, this particular one I'm constructing has its own limitation. So please expand more.
About if it is being used in large environment, maybe in cement industry or milling industry, we have to build a more bigger one, that is a more advanced one compared to this one is just for maybe domestic use or roadside. I'm just using that as an illustration that peradventure, if you have to make a bigger one, it can be used in the cement industry.
Thank you.
So well, before you go, how do you determine the capacity of the electrical motor used?
Is it the capacity of electric motor? Is it the revolution per minute or the? My question, I don't know. Yes. No, we check the amount, we check the blower we used, we check the electric motor we used. We use it to determine the.
When you are designing any project, normally such prototype should be on ground, but you want to put an innovation or a modification that will surpass what is in existence. So the question that was being asked by you is that you have to do something that is not in place that will motivate others to come and patronize you or to do better than what you are doing. So that is why when you are writing reports, there are two things: problem encountered, solution profiled.
Thank you, Mr. Usman. You are free. You can go. Thank you for the presentation. Next is Ms. Koforola Adeyanju. Olayanju. Please step forward for your presentation.
Good day, sirs and mass. My name is Olayanjumere Nkekuforola. I am a student of the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I am here to present my project titled The Design and Construction of a Yam Pounding Machine. We have the introduction, the objective, the statement of the problem, contribution to knowledge, principle of operation, component parts, material cost, conclusion, and the reference. A yam is a staple food in Nigeria and other western parts of Africa. It is commonly consumed in pounded yam. Traditionally, pounded yam is produced using a manual form, that is using mortar and pestle. Over the years, inventors has designed yam pounding machine over the years. A yam pounding machine is a mechanized design machine that is designed to automate the process of pounding yam in a smooth paste. Similar to traditional pounded yam, this machine aims to reduce the labor and time required for manual pounding, which can be a tedious and consuming task. Objectives: reduced labor. The yam pounding machine replaces the mortar and pestle. That is, in the sense that the yam pounding machine is easier. It makes the work easier, and it makes the work faster. It also improves hygiene. By automating the process, the machine minimizes the risk of contaminated and unhygienic acts like sweat. When using the mortar and pestle, there is possibility of sweat dropping inside the yam, and that can cause diseases. Increased efficiency. It increased efficiency in the sense that it reduces the time needed to pound the yam. In case, if you want to use the mortar and pestle, the time you will use to pound the yam is different from the time you will use when you are using the machine. It is faster. It enhances accessibility. Yam pounding machine can be designed to be affordable and readily available. It is designed to be affordable and readily available, making it easier for people to enjoy pounded yam, even if they don't have access to the traditional tools and physical strength. Next. Statement of the problem. Laborious and time consuming. You see, the mortar and pestle, it is very laborious and time consuming, and it takes a long process compared to the machine, and it requires physical effort and time. Accessibility issues. You know, most people don't have the strength to use the mortar and pestle, so it is very easier for them to use the yam pounding machine. Efficiency and consistency. Manual method can be inconsistent. It can be inconsistent in the sense that it can have lump inside the pounded yam. There can be lump inside the pounded yam. Contribution to knowledge. Hygienic processing. That is, the yam pounding machine, it minimizes the risk of contamination. That is, no contamination will be in that pounded yam. It is very safe, and it improves a safe health, enhanced quality. Some designs include features like water heating and So it makes the quality of the pounded yam to improve. It improves the quality of the pounded yam. Design and fabrication advances. Research into yam pounding machines has led to advancement in the design and fabrication of this machine, including the use of locally sourced material, improved motor system, and enhanced safety features. This is a typical example of a yam pounding machine. You can see how it is well built. From the picture, you will see that it is it can be used easily. Please, next. It is also relevant to the SDGs. SDGs like the SDG 3, good health and well-being. SDG 9, economic growth and sustainable industrialization. SDG 10, reduced inequalities. SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. This is the chart for the SDG. As you can see, is there. All what I've mentioned, the sustainable goals are there. This is the good health and well-being. That is, when using the yam pounding machine, there is no risk of any contaminated or unhygienic acts like the sweat. There's no anything that can happen. Something like that can never happen. The industry, innovation, and infrastructure. The infrastructure, it is easier. Responsible consumption and production. Like when you use the yam pounding machine to pound your yam, it is easy to consume. You can consume it easily, and it is produced. So, please. The principle of the operation. You see, the principle of the operation, the electric motor is the source of power. That is, it provides the initial source of power. So the rotational motion, the motor, it is then transmitted through pulleys to the beaters. So the beater is then rotated. As the beater is rotated, they mill and crush the cooked yam against the chamber walls. And after it is crushed against the chamber walls. It is crushed until the yam is firm, sticky, and easy to eat. Component parts. We have the frame. The frame houses the component parts. It provides structural support for the entire machine, and it is made from materials like stainless steel. Then we have the electric motor. The electric motor is the power source. It drives the pounding action, and it converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Then we have shaft. The shaft is a rotating component, and it transmits power from motor to the beater, enabling them to pound the yam. Then we have the pounding blades. This is the component that break the yam into smooth and pounded consistency. Pounding chamber. This is where the yam is contained during the pounding process. Then we have the pulleys and belts. This is used to transfer the rotational motion from the motor to the shaft, often with a pulley system for speed and torque control. Please, next. This is the drawing, assembly drawing. If you look at the drawing, you will see that there is a pounder, it shows us, let's look at D. It shows us component parts of the machine where we have the beater, the shaft, the pulley, the frame, the belt, the motor, etc. Please. Material cost. The material, it is very affordable. It only costs 94,000 naira. Everything I used cost 94,000 naira, which makes it very affordable, easy to get. Conclusion: the machine enhances hygiene, ensure consistent texture and quality of pounded yam. It also increases efficiency in both domestic and commercial settings. Additionally, it contributes to local innovation and job creation by promoting the fabrication and maintenance of locally designed equipment. Thank you.
A round of applause for our presenter. Thank you, Ms. Koforola. That's Women in Technical Education. There's a popular saying that they say, what a man can do, also do. Thank you. Do we have any question from the members of audience? Okay, you have a question. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks for the presentation. So in one of your presentation slides, you said it addresses SDG goal, which is it reduces inequality. Can you shed more light on how it reduces inequality? I mean, your project.
It reduces inequalities in the sense that the pounding machine is very effective. Very, very effective in the sense that compounding any type of yam, it is very effective, and inequalities.
Thank you. Any further question from the member of audience? If there is none, then we go to the I table. Yes.
Thank you, well done. I really appreciate the presentations we're having because they are localized. They are something we can relate with. So, having said that, we are trying to solve a problem. So, and like I rightly said, you're making us realize and understand that, okay, this, when you talk about a comparative advantage, it is better than our usage of mortar and pestle. So now, probably this is limited to urban area where you have power sources as well. So I never see that here. You understand? Because I don't want us to go to, because I believe this is ND project. So I'm trying to mind how I throw questions. You understand? So please, whatever you want to presentation, let's be having the limitations. Because you can't, how about in the rural area where electric power is not available? How do they go about, patronizing this? So please, well done. So at least this is a research and you can improve on it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other?
Well done, our dear sister. More power to your elbow. I want to ask you some questions. What are the control measures you put in place to ensure that the end product of the yam powder machine, the end product, is equivalent to the manual one being done by our parents? That is one. Number two, are you aware that yam is being pounded with grinding machine? Are you aware? Now, what is the difference between the end products of the yam being pounded with grinding machine, pepper grinding machine, your project and the mortar one?
I will first answer the second question. So the grinding method is also effective, but it cannot be compared to the yam pounding machine, because no matter how you use that grinding machine, there will still be lump inside the pounded yam. There will still be lump. You still encounter lump. But when using the pounding machine, there will not be any lump inside. The three are very similar to each other because they have the same goals. They do the same thing, but they do it in a very different way, an effective way. You see, the mortar and pestle, it requires a lot of strength. When using the mortar and pestle, you will need a lot of strength, and most people don't have the strength. But when using the yam pounding machine or the grinding machine, it is very easier when using the yam pounding machine. So the difference between the yam pounding machine and the grinding machine is that they are more effective than each other. It is more effective than each other in the sense that the grinding machine is not designed for that pounding machine. It is not designed to pound yam, but the blade is metal.
You may be invited to present further than this, but I want you to be mindful of one thing. If the blade of the yam pounding machine is being made of stainless, there will not be any deposit of metals. But the pepper grinding machine, the casts that are used to grind pepper.
My project topic is security awareness measure in Nigeria, building facilities using proximity sensing system. This is the abstract. Security awareness measure play a critical role in safeguarding building facilities against various security threats in Nigeria. So the main point of this project is to make it easy to be able to detect intruders or any person coming into an office or an organization. The introduction, the sensor, they are devices or systems that detect and respond to inputs from physical environment. Okay, moving to the proximity sensor. A proximity sensor is a device that detects the presence or absence of objects within a certain distance without physical contact. So the project is a proximity sensor. Even before touching the objects or touching the door of the office, or it is going to send a signal to the person inside the office. The person will know that, okay, somebody is coming into the office. The problem statement, security challenges in cities and communities, cases of intruder of homes, office, banks, educational facilities, hotels. Like I said earlier, it gives signal. There might be a case, maybe in an hotel, because most people do rob hotel or all these robbers. It will already give the manager the insight that an intruder is coming into the place. It's going to make a sound and give the person, even determine the place, like the distance at which the person is. Motivation. This motivation for the project is to burn out all instant security challenges facing the nation at all levels. Rural areas, urban insecurity, banks, residential, etc. Aim and objective. Aim and objective. The aim is just easy. The aim and objective is to just detect an intruder. To detect maybe somebody is coming or even somebody is going out. To detect the distance at which the person is standing there. Scope of the system. Implementing proximity sensing system in Nigerian building facilities for security awareness. Crimes, and it will be easy to even detect crimes and all that. Literature review. The literature review explores existing researches and developments in security awareness measure using proximity sensing system. Yes, sir. Proximity sensing system using the main thing I used in this project is LDR, that is light dependent resistor, and LED, that is LED, that is light emitting diode. So the LED display the distance. So it's going to display the distance at which the person will, okay, this person is 5 centimeter close, this person is 20 centimeter close. It's going to give the person an insight at which the person is close to the office or any environment is being implementing. Methodology. What I use, the hardware, Arduino Uno board, USB cables for Arduino Uno board, ultrasonic 8C SR04. The ultrasonic is the sensor that I used rather. Jumper wire male to female is to connect components together, and the software requirement is Arduino software. This is the block diagram. Power supply, Arduino, bursa is to give sound. It's going to give sound. When the person is really close to the object, it's going to give the sound. Ultrasonic sensor, LED screen, potentiometer to adjust. Maybe the person is just in the office, like the owner of the sensor is just in the office. You just adjust it to the preferable distance he or she wants. This is the Arduino board. This is the circuit diagram from AC to DC. It gives AC inputs, main inputs, and DC outputs. Yes. The results: distance measurement accuracy. The ultrasonic sensor was tested at various distance. It was tested at various distance, 5 centimeter, 50 centimeter, 100 centimeter reading. And the potentiometer, I spoke about it, that it's to adjust it. And the bursa response is to give sound when the person is really, really close to the object. Power supply, 12 voltage power supply. Yes. Conclusion and recommendation. The system is sustainable for basic proximity detection tasks, but potential improvement in sensor choices, feedback, and environment adaptation could make it more robotic and better for complex applications. I want to add this. There are ways to improve this project. There are various ways to improve this project because the project cannot send signal to the phone. There is a way to connect it to the phone, and it will be able to send, even if the person is in any place, anywhere, it will just give the person signal that, okay, somebody is coming into my office, or anything like that. So it will make it easier for the person to be able to detect the intruder. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the presentation and for managing your time very well. You still have some minutes left. Do we have any question from member of audience? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. The panel of judges. I greet you. Emmanuel Oloyede is my name, from the same Federal Polytechnic, Ilaro, Ogun State, Nigeria. First of all, I want to appreciate the presenter for a very good project and a project of the now, project of the present time. We can find out that all the terrorist attacks, they will have entered the church, or they are already among the congregation in the mosque before they detonate their bomb, despite that people are watching around. So she has done a very good job. Thank you. I want to say, at this point, you didn't mention anything about the power source, so that it will not be dependent on our ailing public power supply. I believe if they go ahead to give us something like a solar system that will power it, and then the 12 volts that you needed to move the Arduino board, if your 12 volts is up to 5 amps, your proximity sensor can sense up to 5 meters. You just told us 100 centimeters. That's a very short distance. Somebody that has gone close to you 100 centimeters has already done the worst. But if your 12 volts is up to 5 amps, the current drive in your power board will be able to allow the proximity sensor to pick from a far distance. Your design can still carry 5 to 10 meters. Thank you very much. A very good job.
Thank you, sir, for this contribution. Doctor, the slide, item 4. Item 4. On the slide for this lady. Item 4. Yeah, that's 5 now. 4. Chapter 4, that's what. Okay.
Yes, you were telling us. I think you wanted to show us the results. You said distance. Okay.
Somebody has already commented.
Dada Abi, if I'm correct, you show the power supply circuit, but you didn't show the community circuit diagram of your job. The circuit you in your presentation, you show the power supply circuit diagram. Is what?
Doesn't mean
No. You see, okay. Next time, apart from your result in electrical engineering, what we need is your circuit diagram. How they are related to. We don't read all this big grammar. I mean, doctor, what we read is your circuit diagram, please. It's very, very important. Next time, if you need to improve on it, please have at least basic things, not necessarily everything. Like you show the diagram, you can see, you can even show you might not even the content of the component of the power supply, because an average electrical engineer student knows the no power supply. So you can just tell the power supply and the other basic component, please. You are well done. Thank you. You tried.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you once again. You're well done. Talk about this your security awareness. Is it sensing every human that comes in? Because you mentioned intruder. For one to be an intruder, it means probably that is unwanted. How do you know this person is an intruder? Probably is he armed? Is he sensing that okay, this person is armed, or he can diagnose the person to I don't know. So please expatiate more on that.
Because I'm expecting probably maybe you can sense everybody, but when you mention intruder, so you've limited it to okay, probably somebody that you know you unwanted.
What I mean by intruder is that there are some times that any unwanted person, uninvited person will just want to come into your office. So it will give you insight that I'm not expecting anybody, that this person is coming. Who is this? So it will give the person insight that, okay, an uninvited guest is coming into my office or my building. That is this, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dada. I think that you have answered all the questions, so we may go back to your seat now. The last person in this category, I think is having a problem with his slide and is trying to sort it out. So why that we move to the next category, and later probably if the person is ready, then we can come back to his own category. Now we move to the HND category. Okay. We Miss Adetoro Dorcas move forward for the presentation from that category.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adetoro Dorcas, Department of Electrical Electronics Engineering, the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, and I'm here to present a project which is development of a smart egg incubator and hatcher. Next. So in Nigeria, the poultry sector is an emerging agribusiness, and it has established its position as an emerging agribusiness, contributing to food security and employment. Traditionally, in Nigeria, the poultry sector is an emerging agribusiness, and it has established its position as the fastest growing segment in the agricultural sector, contributing to food security and employment. However, one of the major challenges faced by local farmers is the accessibility to good hatching practices, which is due to the lack of reliable incubating processes. Traditionally, the mother hen has virtually all the necessary conditions required to hatch an egg, such as temperature, humidity, and egg turning. But when we look at this natural method of egg incubation, it is limited in scale, vulnerable to environmental factors, and also impractical for commercial farming. Now, this brought about the idea of artificial incubation, and the idea of artificial incubation dates back to thousands of years ago, and both the Chinese and Egyptian are credited for originating the first artificial incubation processes, whereby they used clay ovens and burnt dungs and stripes to eat up the eggs and hatch the eggs. Next. So some of the challenges faced in the Nigeria poultry sector is the ban placed on the importation of chicken into the country. Now, this ban, although it was supposed to improve and grow our local poultry sector, but instead of that, due to the wide gap between demand and supply of poultry products in Nigeria, this ban has increased the rate of illegal smuggling of poultry products into the country, putting the country at great risk of transboundary diseases. Also, we have high cost of incubating technologies. An average local farmer can barely afford to get an incubator or import an incubator for his use. Then we have inconsistent power supply. For an incubator needs a consistent and stable power supply because of the psychometric parameters. So inconsistent power supply, inadequate incubation capacity, low hatchability rate, which can be due to inconsistent power supply as well, high chick mortality, also due to inconsistent power supply and parameters, manual operation, and lack of data analysis. Next. Justification for the project. Now, if we have an incubator that is produced locally, we will have an enhanced biosecurity in the sense that we will be able to bridge the gap between demand and supply of poultry products in the country. Then we have data-driven decision making, because this incubator is actually IoT based, so we can have data stored and to be able to make data-driven decision. Then it saves human stress and error because it is completely automatic. Then increased hatchability rate and chew quality because the processes have been automated and the psychometric parameters are stable. Then we have reliable energy source because it can be powered with solar. We have scalability and expansion, private sector investment, and also it is relevant to the SDG, which are some of the goals that was adopted by the United Nations in 2015. And some of the SDGs that it is relevant to is, next please, is zero hunger. Now, like I said, if we're able to bridge the gap between the demand and supply, then there will be no need to import poultry products into the country, which will also give the consumer the ability to afford poultry products. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Then also good health and well-being. If we are able to consume our products here, there will be a great decrease in the importation of poultry products into the country, which will greatly reduce transboundary diseases. Next, please. Then also climate action, because this incubator can be powered using renewable energy, so it will also help with the climate. Next, please. And also affordable and clean energy, which is solar power, as I explained earlier. Next. So we have the innovation, which is a solar-powered smart incubator and archer. So for the system design analysis, we have the incubator chamber design, we have automation and control aspect, then we have the IoT integration and data analysis. Please. So this is the design of the incubator. This is the design of the incubator. Next, please. And this design is the exploded view of the incubator before it is compacted together. Next. So for the structural design now, for the exterior of the incubator, we used a high density fiber wood, and we use a high density fiber wood because it has high water resistance, because within the incubator chamber now, there is humidity within the chamber, so it is very important that we use a wood that is very, very resistant to water, and due to its high density too, it is very strong. Then we have the heating and cooling system within the incubator. For the heating system, we utilized incandescent bulb, and for the cooling system, I utilized an aerator fan, which is also known as a spread fan, and an heat extractor fan. Then for sensor integration, we have two sensors, which is the humidity sensor and the temperature sensor. The humidity sensor to sense the humidity within the incubator chamber, and the temperature sensor to sense the temperature within the chamber. We also have a egg turning mechanism. Now this mechanism utilizes a linked mechanism whereby we have a lever and we have a DC motor that can rotate the lever at a particular angle. Then for the automation and control, the main brain behind the automation and control is the microcontroller. And for this project, we utilize ESP32, which helps to receive data from the sensors that has been integrated into the system, and also send out data to probably the relay to activate a particular component. So for the temperature control system now, these sensors, once they send their feedback to the microcontroller either activates or deactivates the relay to either the fan or the heat exchanger or the bulb and all of those components. So for the egg turning automation now, we have a timer for that. There is a timer that is actually connected to the DC motor, and it helps the DC motor to rotate at a particular time and at a particular frequency. Then for the user interface, we have an LCD, which is a liquid crystal display that displays most of the parameters of the incubator. Then for the IoT integration, now the microcontroller is also the brain behind this, and the reason why we use the ESP32 is because it has an IoT connectivity feature. It has an IoT connectivity feature. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth feature. So that is why we used the ESP32 instead of an ordinary Arduino. Then there is a real-time monitoring. The real-time monitoring can be from the liquid crystal display because it is mounted on top of the incubator. There's no need to open the incubator to check what's going on with it. And also key parameters are tracked, such as the temperature, humidity, and all of those psychometric parameters, the airflow rate, the egg turning, and all of that. So we have data visualizing tools. This data visualizing tool, we utilize an app, and this is just the interface. It is displaying the temperature, the humidity, and also the number of days that the eggs has been in the incubator. We have humidity and all of those things. And all of these parameters help us to improve decision making because we can actually go back to these parameters and check the reason why our hatchability rate is low, or maybe if there is a problem during the incubation period. Then this is the flow chart of the system. Please go on. Next. So for poultry egg incubation, it is a critical process and it requires precise control of temperature, humidity, and all of those things. So for us to get an optimal parameter of this psychometric parameters, I utilize the response surface methodology. Next, please. The response surface methodology, whereby we imputed 4 variables, which are the psychometric parameter, temperature, relative humidity, airflow rate, and egg turning frequency, against the output variable, which is the hatchability. Next, please. So we got this predictive results, whereby we have 20 runs of data, and we got these predictive results. Next, please. This is the predictive results presented in a graph. Next, please. So from our predictive results, and using this model, we were able to get the optimal conditions for each of the parameters. And using this condition now, we could get hatchability of up to 95%. Now these are the conditions that were inputted into the sensors and the microcontroller. Next, please. Conclusion. This is the result. We got 92.5% hatchability. Then this is the picture of the eggs hatching. Next. Then the cost estimation is 292,800 naira. Next, please. So in conclusion, this project is basically a smart incubator that integrates automation, control, IoT connectivity, as well as data-driven decision making. And I would recommend that this project is adopted, especially for local farmers that don't have the capacity to import incubators into the country for their use. And future improvements that can be made on this incubator is, the incubator is restricted to boiler and layer eggs. So the future improvements can be us incorporating, having an incubator that can actually work for other avian eggs. Thank you.
Thank you. Another women in technical education at higher level now. Do we have any question from the member of the audience, please? Any question for her, please? Maybe contribution, comment, and observations.
Good day, the panel of judges. I am Engineer Okusonya Muyiwa from Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. Of course, the question I wanted to throw, she mentioned it at the tail end of the presentation. Because, okay, the question I wanted to ask, she mentioned it at the tail end of the presentation, because I'm looking at a situation whereby we have an incubator that can work for all types of egg, be it ostrich, turkey, and every other thing. But she says it's restricted to broiler and layer. So, and that's why I will not want to ask any further question.
Thank you. That's a plus for her, because she has already answered the question before the question was even asked. Thank you. From the item, sir.
Thank you once again. And your research area is laudable. We've been having incubators around. So what makes yours? What is the comparative advantage your own research area of incubator has over others? Because if I need incubator, I can easily go to the market, I will get incubator. So let me know. Thank you.
So one of the edge the incubator have over others is that most of the incubators in the market are imported into the country. I want to have a country whereby we consume our own products and reduce importation into the country. That's one of it. And number two is that it is affordable because this incubator integrates automation control, IoT, data-driven decision making, and for that price, it is affordable.
Yeah, that's a very good presentation anyway. But to every system, there's always a room for improvement. What is the limitation of this your project? Limitation.
I mentioned it, sir. The limitation is that it is limited to broiler and layer eggs. It cannot cater for other avian eggs.
That's good.
Thank you for the good presentation. But my question goes thus. You see, all this majorly on broiler and layers. Now, how can you or how can we modify producing eggs and others based on our local fowl or local hair instead of broiler layers? Our normal our Yoruba, our free range. What can we do to what is the modification that could be done that will make many people to specialize?
In addendum to that, you know, we do have most of our local eggs. There's always wastages. Honestly speaking, you see a local hen, you know, lay 20 eggs, at the end of the day, hatch 2. So just in addendum, probably if this can work for our local hen, then it would have been fantastic. So talk to them.
Okay, so that's why I said that would be further improvement and further research on the incubator, sir.
Yeah, just as a addition to what it does, it actually does. The only difference I can see here from other avian eggs is the type of tray that is there. It's very small type of tray that you cannot even carry more. Even the large eggs may not fit properly there. And I believe by adjusting the parameters are very flexible. By adjusting the parameters, you can change a lot of things because it actually does. This particular one, a fertilized egg were laid in it, and the vehicle traveled for 24 hours on the road, and the egg started hatching along the road, and none of the chicken died even with the trip back from Ilaro to Abuja back to Ilaro. All the eggs survived, all the chicks survived. So it can take a lot of hazard or whatever problem that can happen, and the portability.
Sorry, in addition to what has been said, since you made mention of remote control, what I think you need to do is study the psychometric condition for other types of egg. Take for example turkey. I think it takes 28 days for turkey. Instead of setting for 21 days, you set for 28 days. Then check for number of turning that supports it, the temperature that supports it, the humidity that supports it, and input it into your controller, and you have a similar result that others are having.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, you may go back to your seat. Thank you for the presentation. The next presenter is going to be Mr. Akintunde Faithful. Mr. Akintunde Faithful.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akintunde Faithful Oluwasegun from the School of Engineering, Department of Agricultural and Environmental Engineering Technology, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Ogun State. So today I've come to present this new innovation and a project, which is the hydroponic structure for tomato farming. Hydroponic system or structure for tomato farming. All right. So first of all, hydroponic is same thing as soilless farming, the act of planting crops without soil, which is very, very like rich in nutrients and also has a lot of advantages compared to the counterpart, which is traditional farming. So now going to the introduction. First page, please. Okay, so as I've said earlier, hydroponics is a method of growing plants without soil using nutrient-rich water solutions. Why now? I'm going to be, as regard this innovation, I'm going to be basically talking about tomatoes. Why am I talking about tomatoes? Tomatoes are nutritious, widely consumed, and grow efficiently in hydroponic system with high yields. What is the purpose of this study, of this project? The purpose is to design and test a hydroponic tomato farming that offers a sustainable, efficient, and year-round solution to food production challenges while reducing water use and chemical dependency. So the next one, please. Now, the problem statement of this project is first thing. Now, going back now, diagramming to the traditional way of farming, which is soil-based. Now, when we are talking about traditional way of farming, we normally encounter problems such like excessive watering, and excessive misuse of water can lead to any kind of biological or environmental effect. Excessive water uses in traditional tomato farming. The next one, we have overuse of fertilizers and pesticides. Yes, the excessive or misuse of fertilizer can also cause another effect on the crops, and it may lead to their death. And the next one, we have the soil degradation and inefficiency. The next one, please. Now, objective of this innovation, of this study, is just to design a hydroponic structure for tomato farming and also test or evaluate the performance using tomato seedlings and nutrients. Now, going straight to the methodology, this image, am I right here, is this is the rear view of the hydroponic structure for tomato farming, while the leaves, those are the tomatoes. Now, using the system, we are using gravity-assisted ebb and flow, which is also called the flood and drain. Using ice difference for nutrient flow and minimizing energy usage. Now, I'm talking about the characteristics or the working principle of this new innovation, this soilless farming. The next one is reduces pests or disease risks through clean water flow. Yes, during the process of the planting process of this hydroponic structure, the water that we are using to for the watering, for the wetting, is going to be controlled, and is going to be nutrient rich compared to that of the traditional way of farming. Another advantage is we have simplified design using gravity instead of electric pumps. The next one is that it is easy to maintain and suitable for off-grid location. Yes, it's easy to maintain and it can be used in a place that like it can be used in less space or less land. You know, it does not practically need to like maybe set maybe a half plot of land or one plot of land to perform the operation. Talking about hydroponic structure or soilless farming, it can be constructed, even more than one. It can be constructed in a place that is in less land, like a very small area of place. So next one, sir. Okay, so this is the diagram. This is the exploded view, the isometric view of the innovation of the project. This is the hydroponic structure. Talking now about the components parts, we have the pipes, we have the plastic pipes, we have the metal steel for supports, and we have the hose that we are going to the hose for the tomatoes. We are going to plant the tomatoes and all of that. The next one, please. Okay, so continuation. We are just talking about the components part. So these are the pipes that that serves as the holding body for the nutrients that is going to for the nutrients and for the house the root housing for the tomato for it to grow well. The next one, please. Next one, please. Okay, sorry, back to that one. Okay, so this top view, this is the palette of where we will first of all we are to plant the tomato on the palette first. Then after that, after growing for some weeks for some weeks or thereabouts, after growing to maturity, then we can now transplant them and plant them on the hydroponic structure for better germination. So we have the front view of the hydroponic structure and we have the side view. Next one, please. Now talking about stem components, I've mentioned some of them earlier. We have the steel pipes, that is used for the frame support. We have the castor wheels for balancing, and we have the angle iron. Angle iron for is also a structural support to hold all the pipes together. We have the iron rod. We have the disposable cups. We have the sawdust. We have this sawdust is where we have to mix the fertilizer. Any fertilizer or any nutrients that we are going to be adding for the germination process of these tomatoes, we are going to add it with sawdust so that it can withhold the roots of the tomatoes. We have the reservoirs and we have the fertilizer. The next one, please. Now, set up on operation. Now, the first thing under this section is, first of all, we are to plant on the pallets first. This is the pallets here. So on the pallets first. Then after 3 weeks, we are going to transplant it to the hydroponic. Nutrient solution via reservoir and air pump. Sawdust for root support. Aerated cups for roots. The next one, please. Now we have the nutrient requirements for a healthy tomato. We have the nutrient requirements. First of all, we have the micronutrients, which is the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. We have the secondary nutrients, which is the calcium, manganese, and sulfur. We have the micronutrients, which is the the secondary nutrients, we have calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. For micronutrients, we have iron, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, molybdenum. And we also have the potential of hydrogen, which is the pH. And we also have the electrical conductivity, the EC. Now, tomato growth condition. Now, first of all, it has to be constructed where there is enough light and prove to everyone here that this innovation, this hydroponic farming is very, very advantageous compared to that of the traditional farming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Presenter, for this wonderful presentation. From the member of audience, if you have any question, comment, or observation that could make the work to be much better, it is welcome. Okay.
Thank you, the panel of judges. I expect that you will talk about the parameters that favors tomato growth. You may mention of electrical conductivity and also the nutrient solution and the pH. So, you know, different plant thrives under different EC, pH, and nutrient solution. So what are the very range of parameters of pH, EC that works well for hydroponic farming of tomato? I don't know if you have information on that. So perhaps maybe it's in your pocket.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. For the pH, for the potential of hydrogen, the parameters is always, I think, no more than 7. I think within the range of 5 to 7. That's for the pH. That's what I know about it. And for the electrical conductivity, I think also not more than, I don't know, maybe it's up to 10 kilowatts or something. So really, that's just what I know about it, about the pH. No more than 7.
From the high table, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir, en masse. Now, I want to congratulate you for this beautiful presentation and also to say well done for this research work. I think with the problem that we are having in our country now, this research is a very good one, that you don't need soil, like some of us that we've already plastered our old building. So having a project like this is a good one. Peradventure, you eventually selected for the final competition. I would like to advise you, this is a research work. You don't think. Even if you are not sure, say what you know and you will be corrected. But I think it should be this. Please try to avoid such in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you for the presentation. I want to ask you on a question, particularly on the selection of seedlings. Now, if somebody wants to farm, he will be advised to buy hybrid seed. Do you believe local seed could be improved to high seed, high seedlings? Number one. Number two, taking local seed tomato, local tomato fruit, and harvest another fruit called high seed. Now, if you plant both, you will get different results. What can you do on the local seed, local fruit to become high seed fruit? What can you do? So that is one. Then number two, if there is heavy downpour or heavy rainfall, you don't need to supply your farm with irrigation. Rain will fall, which will water what you need on farm. Do you believe that? Now, so when is likely advisable to go on irrigation, and when is likely advisable to go on normal rainfall?
Okay, talking about irrigation, it is mostly advisable to perform irrigation on the hydroponic early in the morning, when before sunset, early in the morning, twice. The main reason why we prefer normal irrigation compared to rainfall is just because before we carry out irrigation, we will have to add fertilizer to the water, liquid fertilizer most times to the water. Then we have a bowl at the top of the hydroponic. It's outside, so before I continue, I would love everyone to see the project. It's outside here. You normally have a container at the top of it where the water is controlled. We are going to fill the container with water, then add the fertilizer. Then we are going to open the pump, the tap, and then after that, then the water is going to be distributed evenly to all parts of the tomato where we plant them. So rainfall is also good, yes. Rainfall can also perform the wetting for us, but most times when we normally do the irrigation is mostly advisable, and we normally carry out the irrigation process twice in the morning and also in the evening. So I mean absence of sunlight. So that's it. And sorry sir, and about the question you are talking about developing local seeds to sir, I did not get the question, sir. I don't know, maybe
You don't understand the question. Okay, for instance, let me use cassava, maize as a case study. If I plant 1 acre of farm, then maybe I use ordinary maize seedlings. So at the end, I will get certain tonnage. Then somebody will now sell another seedlings of maize for me and say this is hybrid, expecting that I will get more tonnage. But at the end of the year, if both of them are given proper care, I may likely get more tonnage from local seed, one that I call local seed, because the seedling is being sent outside the country. That is why we call it. But what I'm now asking you, relating to your presentation, that what can I do on a local tomato farm, on the fruits? What can I do that fruit, the seedlings of the fruit, at the end of the day will now match up to hybrid seed? That is what I'm asking you. What can I do on that local fruit? Maybe I had some things, one thing or the other, which I don't know what was added for another one being called hybrid. What can I do that this local one will match up with the one given to me or presented to me as the hybrid?
Okay, talking about the seeds, we have different type of seeds. For example, let me talk about cucumber. We have even like varieties of crops. We have normal seeds and local seeds, and we have those ones that are like improved seeds. Most times they're always artificial, because even when you see them, the color, the texture, and everything. So now the one you are talking about pertaining to this project, for the tomato, we have local seeds. Of course, we have local seeds for tomatoes, and we also have the improved one. So what I can just say about that, about the pertaining to as regard the question you asked, is just that we just need to just carry out the normal routine after the planting, irregardless of maybe the differences in the type of seeds. So we just need to just carry out normal routine of planting, the normal routine of planting before getting to germination stage and before fruiting and after fruiting to the harvesting. So that's what I can say about it.
I just want to, mine is just like an advice, to be able to throw light on the question that was asked. So I expect that you should have carried out thorough evaluation on the machine. That will be able to help you to answer that question. So maybe you subject the two to evaluation, the two type of seed, improved seeds and the local seed, on the same condition, nutrient solution, the same structure, and look at the yield. Then there will be a control on conventional farming. See yield from the land, see yield from hydroponic structure for improved seed and for local one. From there, you'll be able to make an inference, you understand, that okay, when you do this, you are going to have a better result for local seed. I think currently what people do is there is something we call induced pollination. So a situation whereby you plant an improved seed and plant a local seed near each other, and you induce the pollination such that the improved seed will cross-pollinate the local one, so that you can have a yield that is better than the local seed. So, and that will now serve as your vegetative seed for next planting. And that's where they have their F1, first generation, second generation, and third generation. So do thorough research on this, and that will guide you better on inferences about the work.
Thank you for your presentation once again. My own question is this. You know, everything has its own lifespan. So your setup, what is the lifespan of your setup? Because even when we plant on our soil, there's a time that the yield will reduce, and probably, we leave it, to lie fallow to improve again before we come back again. So what is the lifespan of your setup?
It doesn't have any lifespan. You can go as far as, like, it's just, the main thing is just maintenance. So it depends on how the person is maintaining it. So once there is optimum maintenance, you can serve somebody for years and thereabouts. So that's it, sir. Okay. Yeah. So and it also depends on where, like, the location. So yeah. Okay, so most importantly, if I'm to recommend this kind of innovation for somebody, most importantly, like, I will talk about the location. So because location matters a lot. So for this project is for it to serve the person that wants to be using it for farming. So it is advisable that the person should create it on a concrete floor, and like a place that we have cover and everything, shelter and everything, compared to just putting it outside where rainfall, sunlight, everything will be having environmental impact on it. So that's just I know about it, sir.
Thank you. All right. Our next presenter is Mr. Balogun Mustafa. Mr. Balogun Mustafa from Ilaro.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Balogun Mustafa from the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Department of Agricultural Engineering Department. So, my project that to present today, that will be presented today, is the design and performance evaluation of a maize harvester. Next slide. And this project is in relevance with sustainable development goals, and it is related to the sustainable development goals section number 2, goal number 9, and goal number 12. Let's skip. So the goal number 2 is talking about waste less food and support local farmers. So it is said that the third of world food is wasted, yet 821 million people are undernourished. So doing the helps to build resilience and promote inconclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. Next slide. So the introduction. Now, mechanization is essential in modern agriculture in a sense that we have to modernize our ways of operation in agriculture in order to enhance the scale and the productivity we get from our farm. So we can't be using manual power or labor power on our farm and have maximum output. So in Nigeria, maize farming is largely dependent on manual labor, which limits productivity and efficiency. The study presents the design, fabrication, and evaluation of a low-cost, efficient maize harvester suited for small to medium-scale farmers. So the maize harvester is specifically made for small to medium-scale farmers to aid their harvesting of maize. Next slide. So the problem statement. Manual maize harvesting is time-consuming, labor-intensive, and results in high post-harvest losses. So the manual way or traditional way of harvesting maize is done by hand. We remove the cobs and all that. We do the cleaning by hand. So that will take a lot of time and a lot of energies, and during this process there will be a lot of damages that we incur on the plant, and the lack of available mechanized alternatives aggravates the issue, particularly for smallholder farmers. So other maize harvesters that already exist are way too expensive for small farmers, like farmers in small scale. Next slide. So the need for affordable mechanization. Existing maize harvesters are too expensive for local farmers, as I have said before. So we try to find a way to bring about innovation to create a maize harvester that won't be as expensive as the one that we have already. 2. There is a need for a simple locally fabricated machine that reduces labor cost and time. So this machine reduces the amount we spend on labor. So we don't have to use much of our energy once we have the machine, and it reduces the time the harvesting operation takes. This project aims to develop a machine that is both cost effective and high performing under local field conditions. So the machine is very effective on the farm. Next slide. So the objective: reviewing existing maize harvester designs, design and fabricate a simple maize harvester, evaluate the machine's performance under real farm condition, and assesses its economic viability and sustainability for rural farmers. So the machine is created in a way that the cost it will take for you to get the machine, the intern you'll be getting from the activities you are using it from, it will be able to cover for the cost. It's not too expensive. Next slide. So here is the mini maize harvester that we created. This is the pictorial diagram of it. Next slide. So the design and working mechanism. The maize harvester is designed based on the abrasion and stripping principle, targeting the air shank, which is mechanically weaker than the stock. So this is a process whereby the machine targets the outer shanks of the maize we are to harvest in such a way that it makes it easy for it to penetrate and remove the cobs without having much impact on the maize itself. The maize harvester has a 4-wheel frame with a rotatable front wheel for mobility. It is powered by an 11 horsepower gasoline engine which transmitted through chain, sprocket and gears. A V-belt guard directs stalks between the rotating shaft which separates the maize from the stalk. So the components. So the maize harvester consists of a chassis, power transmission system, a cutting mechanism, gathering mechanism, separation mechanism, cleaning mechanism, transportation mechanism, and control system. Next slide. So this is the components part. This is an exploded diagram of the machine before it is assembled. So we have the gearbox, the prime mover, the gears, the tire, the flange, body plate, centralization plate, we have container, chassis, cylindrical bar, helical spring, and the shaft. So this is the orthographic view of the mini maize harvester, which consists of the front view, the side view, and the plan view of the machine, and the shaft design. So the American Society of Mechanical Engineering code equation for the calculation of a solid shaft is given by as the formula below. So we use this formula to determine the diameter of the shaft of the maize harvester. So the diameter of the maize harvester was determined by other parameters which are in the formulas, and we got 29 millimeter as the shaft diameter. So these are the properties of steel, milled steel, like tensile strength, yield strength, and all other parameters that the material we use can take. So, and we calculated for every part of the machine and the forces, the amount of forces and impact it can withstand for it to work effectively, and the efficiency will be high. So calculated parameter, the energy output is 3,600 revolutions per minute. The diameter shaft and the diameter of the sprocket, everything that was assembled in the machine was calculated, and it is into consideration that the machine is effective and we produce and we work for what we want it is intended to do. Next slide. So the performance testing. We tested the machine, the effect of the blade at 3 different speeds, 3,600 revolutions per minute, 1,309 revolutions per minute, and 1,600 revolutions per minute. And stock moisture content between 38% and 34%. On cutting efficiency and fuel consumption were evaluated at the Agricultural and Bioenvironmental Department, Federal Polytechnic in Laro, in our department. So we do the performance evaluation in our department on normal field setup. Next slide. So these are the results of the performance evaluation. The harvesting efficiency is 85%, effective feed capacity is 0.45 hectares per hour. That's how fast the machine can go, and it is faster than the manual picking and harvesting of maize. Crop damage rate is 5%. So mostly bruises from stripper plate misadjustment. So most of the damage that are imposed or incurred by the maize are from the stripper bruises and all. The optimal forward speed, that is the movement of the harvester. Next slide. So we evaluate the fuel consumption and moisture with the effect of blade cutting. So these are the 3 speeds we take: fuel consumption and the moisture content of the maize that we have to harvest. Next slide. So this is the graph of the fuel consumption chart. Next slide. So the second performance evaluation that we did was the experiment of cutting efficiency and stock moisture on the cutting blade of the maize harvester. So we use the same speed and we get the cutting efficiency and the stock moisture content that we vary to test the performance of the machine. Next slide. So here is the cutting efficiency. So conclusion. So the key takeaways from this project is that we developed a low-cost maize harvester suitable for small and medium-scale farmers. We achieved significant improvement in harvesting and efficiency, and also time reduction, which is also very important in the harvesting and planting process. We have to maximize our time. We utilize a simple mechanical system that can be maintained locally. So to maintain the machine, it is a thing that we can locally do. And for future possibilities, we have integration of automated control and sensor for precision machine. So this machine that we created now, it has to be controlled by human for it to work. And so, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mustafa, for this wonderful presentation. Now it's time for the question. Do we have question from the member of the audience? Question from member of the audience. Okay. I will return the mic to the high table here.
Thank you. The question I want to ask you, though it's related to your presentation, but we want something physically practical. Do you get that? Something that is physically practical. Now, I want to ask you some questions. You are an agric engineer or mechanical engineer? Agricultural engineer. You are in HND what? HND 2. Do you have farm that you have practicalized this? That you have practicalized this, or your department has farm that this, listen. Because your project, if properly presented and managed, will be highly welcomed. But we need something that will be physically practical. Now, during your course of presentation, if you have shown us where this product is being used to harvest, maybe during the course of harvesting, it harvests per row or 2 rows. We know it could not be as effective as combined harvester, but it will be more appreciated if it is being shown that maybe it harvests on 2 rows per trip, or 1 row or 3 rows. So that will indicate that if it is, if somebody could afford it, it will be meaningful. So that is where I want you to think about. Not presenting, okay, this will work in this way. All the tables you are shown, they are good. But we want something that will be seen. Do you get it now? So that is the area where I will want you to adjust. Maybe when you get back to school, and thank God, dry season is far approaching. Do you get it? Don't just show us something abstract, but we want something physically practical. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. No? All right. I think you are free to go now because you have a wonderful. Okay. Okay. Okay, our next presenter now is Mr. Ajala Ifeoluwa.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma. Standing beside you is Ajala Ifeoluwa Jacob, a student of electrical and electronics engineering from Federal Polytechnic Ileoluji, Ondo State. So my project topic is designing and implementation of designing and implementation of a rechargeable air compressor for inflation. Next, please. So the introduction. This project presents us how it's very, very effective and it's very, very necessary and implementing people. So we work on how we are going to help the commercial drivers in terms of inflating their tires, because I've been into many situations about these commercial drivers, whereas we have issue on our way traveling with flat tires and there's no way for them to help. So we working on a rechargeable air compressor for inflating tires. So we go next. So the aims and objective of this project is mainly to design and implement a air compressor for inflating tires. Next please. Next please. Yeah. This project presents a portable rechargeable air compressor designed for tire inflation, addressing the critical needs for maintaining optimal tire pressure. When I say addressing this, I've said it earlier that most of us here will have been in situations whereas we have issue with these commercial drivers having flat tires on their way and there's no organizer around to help. So this project is really, really needful and it's very, very effective for them. Next, sir. Thank you. So the aims and objective, the aims of the project work is to design and implement a rechargeable compressor for inflating tire. Objective, the objective, design the portable air compressor circuit, stimulate the portable air compressor using a Proton software version 7.9, implementing the simulated design in P2, evaluating the design system using vigorous field test. Next, sir, please. The significance of the project. This study focused on developing a portable air compressor powered by a 12-volt battery to enhance vehicle maintenance and road safety. It addresses the lack of accessibility tools for tire inflation, promoting optimal pressure and reducing accident risk for drivers. For instance, there are some drivers who make a lot of risk, whereas they are having flat tires and they are trying to just ride on with the car till they get to a location where they are going to see a organizer, and them doing that can lead to accident. But we coming up with this type of project, we really help them. It's a very useful and self-operating project. Next, sir. So the literature review, we have so many people who have tried, so many gurus and scholars who have tried to work on the project. Example is Bausa 2007, Shatter and Pika about Caster work 2023, Mufastara and Parasata 2021. The recent advancement has led to automated tire inflation systems that adjust pressure with minimal driver input using sensors and controllers to maintain optimal level. That is an example of a researcher trying to have a research on how they are going to make a portable compressor for inflating tire. Next, sir. So the methodology, this project aims to develop a portable air compressor powered by a 12-volt battery for tire inflation. It focuses on creating an impact. Focus on creating an user-friendly system. Like I said earlier, it's a user-friendly system. No climatic damage. It's very, very useful. It's not dangerous for any kind of environment. The component, the cycle diagram of the portable air compressor includes essential components such as the resistor, diode, transformer, capacitor, a voltage regulator, variable board, organization for organizing jumper wire connection for component, while lead indicate status. The heat sink, it helps to absorb heat
whenever the machine works to the extent of creating much, the heat-sink, that is the usefulness of the heat-sink, and a 12-volt relay air compressor, variable resistor, and a transistor enhancement. The main brain around this project is the compressor inside. The compressor is the main brain, is the main body of the project. Can you next, sir? Thank you. So that is our block diagram and our circuit diagram. You can see the transformer, and you can see the 4 diode connected in the block rectifier form, so as to go back to the circuit diagram, sir. You can see the transformer, and directly is connected to the 4 diode connecting in block rectifier form. It helps once you charging at first at AC. The diode, the 4 diode connected in block rectifier form helps to convert the AC current to DC, and the capacitor helps to filter the DC that is being converted. Why the capacitor is converting to filter the current is because so that the current will be very suitable for usage and it won't harm any component inside it. In the circuit you can see the relay, and you can see we have the charging unit, and the charging unit is connected. We have the resistor, the capacitor. It helps. It has this automatic cutoff. Once it's charging, once it's at the full state, is at 13.5 volt, it's going to automatically cut itself off, and whenever it is low to a extent of 11 volts, it will continue to charge. And the block diagram, we have the outlet, we have the battery units, we have the indicating units, we have the air compressor units, and we have the charging automatic cutoff units. So, function of each unit, we have the battery unit, provides 12 volt power for compressors portable, operation and performance. And we have the AC outlet connected to a 220 volt supply for efficient battery charging. Air compressor unit compresses air for accurate type inflation through proton mechanism. Charging automatic cutoff unit, as I said earlier, regulates charging, prevents overcharging, and ensure battery longevity. Every battery that we are having, every phone that we are having has their life cycle. That is why we input the automatic cutoff unit, so that the battery will still be effective and will be used for a long period of time. Indicating unit, the indicating unit helps to alert when the battery voltage is low, promoting recharging. Next, please. That is our. Can you go back to the result? That's our result. We did a lot of results. We did a result on about different petty tires, different sizes, and on every tire we make research on, there's amount of the initial pressure we meet inside, and we also gauge the tire to the extent of as its maximum extent, about 30 results. Thank you. Can you just? Yes. And that's a picture of our compressor. We can see we have the battery. Can you go back, please? Next. Discussion of results. The results from the 30 trial of recharge compressor reverse its performance efficiency in tire inflation. We do different type of results. It works for 15 tires before the battery runs down, and once the battery runs down, we charge it again. Can you go back to conclusion? In conclusion, the rechargeable portable air compressor developed in this project effectively addresses tire inflation needs, enhancing vehicle safety and efficiency. And I would like to recommend anybody who's opportune to work on this project should try and make it an hybrid project. That means we thank God the sun is free for us. We putting our renewable energy, which is solar, will make it a very effective one and long lasting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jalea, for this wonderful presentation. Do you have any question from the member of the audience? Yes, sir.
Thank you, the panel of judges and the audience. Oluide is my name, from the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. I want to appreciate the young researcher for a beautiful work that has it definitely we had to value for the drivers or any other vehicle users, including motorcycles and all of them. Now, thank you very much. You have done a very good job. I have this to comment on. From what I saw, you didn't tell us the type of battery that you used in that project, and then why you believe it's better to have such in a traveling vehicle. But when we saw the pictures, the images, I saw that it's a lead acid battery. That's exactly what is in the same vehicle that has a flat tire. It may be possible for you to just connect the system to the cigarette line and then receive the voltage from there and do your stuff. And I believe that you know that there are several battery charge, several inflators, tire inflators, so hundreds of thousands of them that are very portable. In fact, there are some that you can even put in your pocket. My own is as small as my power bank, and it will do the job. But the difference there is that it's a lithium battery powered. Lithium ion batteries, they have a stronger performance, and their depth of discharge is better than that of lead acid, and the rate of the number of time that you charge them is even more. That is that. And then another thing is that you can modify and let it be something that can be driven directly from the solar system. So if the vehicle is traveling in the daytime, from what I can see, a 30-watt monocrystalline solar module will do the job effectively. You told us about the power circuit, but you didn't say much about the operation of the operation of the inflator itself. No, I'm not saying it. I just want to give you the compliment and then tell you the modifications that you can do. And then you know all inflators are using process of diaphragm and piston. So all these things you explain to us, and then you make it more compact, easily, maybe portability, compactness, and fineness, ecstasy. So that when you see something that is made here in Ilaro or Ibadan, compared to what is brought from China, and then who will take what and which will a person select. So I want to believe you have done a very good job with a little more modification and fine tuning. You will present a very good project. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. I will go back to saying the principle of working. The type of air compressor inside the package is a very small one. I actually use that because the type of the air compressor does not save air in it, so that it will be portable to move around. So once you kickstart the machine, the air compressor is just made of a cylinder and a piston and a motor. Once you kickstart, the motor will start to rotate. While the motor is rotating, the piston will move up and down. On the package, there is a inlet hole around, so it helps it absorb air around and push it out simultaneously through the hose. That's why we are using a type of air compressor, so that it will be easy to move around. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Like my Oga rightly said over there, so we have several thousands of air compressor, air inflator rather, so everywhere. So why must I choose your own innovation? Convince me more.
Thank you, sir. Why you are going to choose this is because it's very, very effective. It's very, very easy to transport. The the compressor inside does not save air. If you have any other compressor that saves air inside, it won't be easy to move around. And this one is very effective. I can give you a warranty of 10 years. It does not require much maintenance. Once, because everything inside the charging control unit is as automatic cutoff. There's voltage regulator inside that regulates the voltage. Every component is safe and easy for use. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Our next presenter in this category is having some kind of a delay.
We have called upon Mr. Follow Matthew for his own presentation in ND category. Good day, line of judges, staffs in the house, and my fellow students.
As the back end. For example, in my farm, I know what happens every minute about my solar system. My farm is running on 5.5 kVA, 8 batteries solar system and 32 panels. So it is IoT. Now I knew this. I can know the power on the battery. I know the percentage of the charging, so I can inform them this thing is low, shut down this, shut down that, because I'm using solar pump, solar light, solar everything. I'm a solar person. Renewable energy. So that is what we are working upon here. And Arduino is a very simple system. It uses very little energy. This is what we came up with. This is a simulated one. We did a prototype. It's outside. We can test it. We prepared a water can to supply the container to mimic the flood part. So as soon as the electrode and the sensor senses the water at a particular preset level, messages will be sent to NIMET. Message will be sent to fire office. Water has reached 3 meters in Okeogun. It will do it. If there is no response in that area, if they are not there to check what is happening to reset the system, it will keep on giving them. By the time water rises to 7 meters, it will keep on giving the system. By the time water rises to a critical level, it will continue to give messages every minute until somebody stands up. And they call the radio, okay, water has reached, so don't get another place. Evacuation can be possible. Information can be passed around. At the same time, data is logged. So that next year we prepare for something of that nature. This is the report. This is the message that will be received. You can see the message came in succession. Every minute. First of all, every 5 minutes. Later, every 3 minutes. Then every minute. In fact, the person that is sitting down at the back end will be frustrated. But this message that is coming in, something is actually wrong. Because I probed back into the one of Abeokuta, because that's where I stay. I saw the house after the water abated. I went down to see the level mark on the buildings that were submerged before the governor's house. It's only the governor's house that survived it. Every other houses in Amalacho were covered. Agape electronic store was covered. Everywhere was. In fact, you can see the level of the water by the edge of the roof. So with that, before this one happened, it took about 1.5 hours before water can move to that level. People will have escaped. The people who died there wouldn't have died there. People will have escaped and there could have been evacuation. The fire will be on their alert and something good will happen. So that is what we came up. So the fact remains that all natural phenomenon, you can't do anything about it. You can only work with NEMA or NIMET to give them information. So if this thing is properly articulated and deployed, definitely there will be data. And people who are working remotely on this kind of environmental hazard, they will have something to be watching per minute, per second. If they are not even sitting there with it, modalities and mechanisms will have been put in place to record that data. As well, we record data of power in Nigeria from 00 hours to 23.59 hours. Data is being recorded, the megawatt that is sent out, the one that is paid for, the one that is used, the one that is stolen along the transmission line. So if we can do that, we can do that one here too. Recently, I was driving along New Bridge in Abeokuta, and there's already a metal stand in the middle of Ogun River. They put white paint, black paint, and red paint. They wanted water so that this one is visible. So when it is on black way, everything goes well. When it's
if you have any comments, question, or observation from the member of the audience. Any question?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
I will want the presenter to tell us the exact location that these equipment will be stationed.
Thank you very much, sir. From my research, I went round to canals. I visited about 15 canals in Abeokuta and I visited 3 canals in Ibadan. I discovered that the canals are already there. They are already there. Some of them are still narrow. Some of them are being helped by the government to bring them up a little. The one in Yanopaja, down towards Alabado, that one is at the widening. So I went to that one too. So we now go, okay, all these things, all these canals, they have a frequent water flow and a particular water rate normally when rain is falling and when everything is okay. People in that environment are even testify because to Banro, by the time there is water, normal rainfall, water does not go beyond this environment. So with the way I did the probe and the electrodes of
so that one will be there, and the negative electrode is one that will send the signal to the programming environment so that actions can be taken place. So as the water rises, one electrode is already there, the second electrode will close the circuit and trigger information for the Arduino programmer to send message to the right authority so that they can begin to do what is right. Their message will now be translated to ESP32 that begin to log it hourly basis as long as we want to keep it and keep the data for future. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, it was put into consideration. When we want to deploy something new like this, awareness is the first thing. There will be awareness in all areas to tell people that something is going to be installed in your environment. It is for your safety. Don't go near. And the way we have done it is we are going to erect it firmly. Even if there is debris there, it needs only water to trigger information. So but by the time like I said in the initial, I said good things are entering the country little by little. We are just getting to see them. They are already coming up. Our people are now going to be, now that your Iya Eleja is using transfer. You want to buy a transporter, a transfer. In fact, somebody that was collecting arms, I don't have change. Mobile transfers are so if in that era, we know that before we know it, everybody is aware of the new technology. And if our people, if they know it's for their safety, definitely they will do it. In the foreign countries like Israel and the others, they sound an alarm. That's why I said it's going to be embedded in ESP32 so that this thing will now be Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled. So immediately that one send signal, alarm will be sent from the tower of the city. Everybody know what is going on. I think it's an improvement that we are going to do, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other comment? Okay, maybe I will need to move to the item.
Thank you for the good presentation, sir. And you have worked in another area of human endeavor entirely, which has been a very challenging issue for the whole country. But when we talk of flood, we talk of flood to prevent, protect human beings and their resources. But you mentioned farmland too. But if I may get you right, when there is going to be flood, they are going to be alert immediately, and the people will be evacuated. In case of farm products, which are yet to be matured, what do we do about that, sir?
Because of my research, I put that one in place too. I discovered that our farmers, especially those who are doing local farming, they don't have ways of managing flood. But people are doing integrated farming. They already put it in their system. There must be a way to let out high water.
Who's not a government functionary or whatever can adopt that for his personal use, such that before such occurrence or during such occurrence, there can be an alarm. Then there will be a way he can quickly come around to save those fish that we go to the way.
That's very well, sir. All the things are put into consideration. The Ministry of Agriculture, especially the produce staff, they visit farm. They do awareness for farmers. In Abeokuta, I have a little farm. I'm farming human beings. I have a small school in Abeokuta. Directly opposite Ogade, Ogun State Agricultural Development Corporation. They normally gather farmers to educate them when they want to start farming, fish farming. With the one that happened, I know that particular farm. There was no drainage. There is no drainage there. And if the farm is in a prone area, in a flashpoint area, who ever thought that thing that will happen. Now, awareness is the key. By the time there is enough awareness, farmers visit the government, the local government school to educate them about how to set up their farm in a safe way, so that they can get, with a little money, they can get all these things in place. And I want to tell you, sir, awareness is the key. Any farmer that is farming in this dispensation to involve the government. They are not going to do anything for you, just to give you information or let you know how better you can perform and get more yield in whatever, whether livestock or agriculture or crop production or anything like that. I think that is the possible too. Awareness is the key. Thank you.
What about the event of
So we depended on solar, but the network is a general issue. It's a very general issue. Definitely. So sometimes it fails. That is one of the reasons or one of the upcoming areas in technology. That is why they move into 5G. When we are on 2G, it was worse. But now we are on 5G. When we go to 6G, information deployment or data traveling will be easier. Without any failure, the failure rate will be reduced. Definitely we have that kind of problem. But Okay, then. I will see you.
It means that this topic is fundamental to home motivation. It's fundamental to home motivation. And our car, some people have worked on it on this topic before. They have worked on home automation. They used our car 2005 used flexible web-based solution for their own device. Larger than 2004. Design implemented the microcontroller. Design using the microcontroller. And also for this project. The aim of the project is to design and implement microcontroller-based flexible low-switch device. And the objectives. The first objective is to implement a device using that's the microcontroller. The other microcontrollers as well. I decided to readily available cheap. I could have used a Raspberry Pi, the microprocessor. Very expensive, and to order it from abroad. Then, design flexible. We use the design to make it friendly and simple for whoever is going to use it. Then, finally, to implement a device that's capable of switching on and off loads. Why is this device important? For example, now, for our physically challenged people, they can sit in the comfort of their own take a device, switch on light, information, switch on socket, and do some other things like that. Then, for energy, even this era of renewable energy, you are using your own, not to, you are in a certain place, you don't need a certain place somewhere, you don't need to do that, you are in your comfort zone, switch off from the device. Another beauty attached to this particular internet. This one you need to have access to the browser. Any device, a laptop, not necessarily internet connection, subscribe internet connection, etc. Just have access to internet. Maybe your Mozilla Firefox, your Opera, and some other browsers like that. Have access to it. Then you can connect. That's why the flexible reflected in the topic. And you can connect the idea of these devices. And use your laptop, use your phone, find anything where you can access the browser. The working principle. Before I talk about the working principle, I would like to go to the blog diagram. It's just a pity. I don't have access to the slide. You can't please me. Now, what I'm using is the basic components that I'm using is the microcontroller. I said I'm using Arduino. Then I have the router to connect the microcontroller. That's Arduino doesn't have the capability to link with the router. So we need an Ethernet shield to be a connection between. If it was the Raspberry Pi, it's expensive. Then the router means that which data is being transferred from your device service, either your phone, your smartwatch, or your pad, and so to your microcontroller. Another important component there is the relay module. That's what does the switching. The relay module can come in different channels. You have depending on the number of rows you want to switch on and off. So the microprocessor, has digital data ports, which is sent either a high signal or a low signal to the relay. When the high signal is sent, it means it's telling the relay module to switch on. When it's low, it switches off a particular device that we want to switch on and off. And also, another thing that has been incorporated into the circuit is what we call the optocoupler. This is just to, the optocoupler is a link to prevent, because of the switching, several switches are reliable, prevent damage to the microcontroller. So it's a link. There's a principle by which the optocoupler works. It sends photon energy. The optocoupler will have transistors, sends photon energy to the base of the transistor. At this point, the current flows to the transistor to make, and when we stop it, click the circuit. So this is the relay module. What I have is a 4-channel module connected to one load, this another load, another load. So this can be the light is this can be the socket connecting the bridge depending on what you have. Then I have the power supply system design here too. So what I have there, I have the bridge rectifier, the transformer, the bridge rectifier, the bridge rectifier generates this. It generates to give us DC voltage. Then I have a network of capacitors and the regulator for stabilization and filtering. So at the power stage, I will have a 12 volts DC and 1 amp supply, which is enough to power every component that will be needed. And this is the 4-channel relay. And what I have here is the user interface. We can see here that it is very, very simple to use. This turn off socket, turn off socket, on socket, turn off the light, turn off the light. Once you have your device, all the user needs to do is connect to the IP. Once you are in the user interface, click turn off the light, and the light goes off. Turn on, and it can work within 50 meters radius within the home. And if it's in a free space up to 200 meters. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful presentation. Do you have any question or comments from the member of the audience or observation? the absence of man. Mine is, does he use a voice prompt?
No, if I'm using the Raspberry, since it's just for switching, this project can be modified you can modify it as a phase selector, and even in the factory, it can be used to change load to the two persons. If I use
one has to be let out to some extent to operate.
Yes.
So in a situation where it is a voice prompt, even an elderly mama that comes to business, you can tell mama, once it's so like the weather is okay, I might just off the light and the light will go off and all that. So
that's still part of home automation, but this is just a fundamental part of home. And if you look at it very well, in the present day, home automation, it doesn't come cheap.
Yes.
It's very, very expensive. If you see companies doing home automation, they personalize everything. They sell their own TV. It's their TV that work with their software. It's their fridge that work with their. But with this, any device in the home, it can even be used as a distribution board. We just attach circuit breakers to it. So we go to different circuits. We can switch circuits.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Our next presenter in this category is Engineer Olomagi Isaac from Federal Polytechnic, Ede. Engineer Olomagi, your presentation. Very unfortunate that the power holding has decided to hold the power. So you just have your own presentation within 10 minutes or less. Thank you. Thanks, Captain.
Good afternoon, sirs. My name is Olomai Isaac from Department of Electrical Electronics Engineering Department of Federal Polytechnic. I'm here this afternoon to present.
So that they can hear you.
I'm from. Okay. My name is Olomai Isaac from Federal Polytechnic, the Department of Electrical Electronics Engineering Department. I'm here this afternoon to present the topic which states the construction of a spectrum analyzer with GSM and an antenna. A spectrum analyzer analyzes frequency, the content of signals, and the design integrates of GPS and antenna helps to add location context and better reception. It enables mobile spectrum monitoring, interfacing, hunting, and regulatory compliance. Then it supports dynamic spectrum location of real geolocation mapping. Now, for my literature review, several people have already worked on spectrum analyzer before. We have White, he did the traditional superheterodyne architecture. We have Tochi that did signal processing, that enable real-time spectrum analyzer, and all the likes. Now, now for my methodology, the modular RF front-end. I'm sorry, sir.
Sorry, is it easier?
No, sir.
Why?
It's not.
You're supposed to put them to they can be so late now. Or send it to me.
Okay.
Send your slide to me on WhatsApp.
Sir, I'm good. Now, the wideband antenna allows multiple standard monitoring. Then we have the GSM plus antenna plus DSP mobile spectrum monitoring system. I'm sorry. Now, for my methodology, we have the embedded microcontroller. we have the data acquisition, we have a data logger, whereby all our information about the frequency that we want to collect, the positioning of where we took the signal, and the current position where the GPS location of the signal is being gotten. We have the screen, we have the GUI, graphic user interface display, that tells us the information immediately start operating it. We have the graphic user interface that displays it. Now, from our results, we now notice that we have the frequency range between 100 kilohertz to 3 gigahertz. Then the bandwidth is 10 kilohertz. Then we have the dynamic range of minus 35 decibel, and the GPS accuracy is plus or minus 2 meters. The effective geotagging spectrum measurement and its map was created. Now for the results, at the end of the construction, I was able to successfully identify FM, cellular and Wi-Fi satellite signals. Then I was able to get a geotagging data allowed interface localization. That means after I get a frequency after I analyze the frequency, the FM signal, then I was able to get the GPS location of this place is different from there. So I was able to get at certain points the geotagging of, that is the satellite location of the parent location. Then my design is portable, and the power is not consuming much power. Then we have, with my design, we have an external antenna that improves reception, and I have a GPS locator also that is attached to my design. In conclusion, the successful combined spectrum analyzer with GSM geotagging, effective survey interfacing, detection and regulation monitoring. Future works can work on directional antennas, real-time closed data, AI-based signal classification. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for this wonderful presentation. Do you have any question, comment, observation from the member of the audience? If there is none, then we move to the next one.
Thank you. Well done.
Yes, sir.
Can your solution be applicable while we are having a ground penetration radar? Can it be
Ground
penetration radar? Because you talk about geotagging.
Yes, sir.
So, and ground penetration radar, probably use it to analyze the soil layers.
Sorry.
And use of spectrum, geotagging,
yes, sir.
and more survey, technology in survey.
Yes, very well, sir.
Sir?
Yes, very well, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you use it?
Sir?
How do you use it?
How I did it?
How you are going to use it?
Use it. Yes, when you get to a particular location, when we get to that particular location where we want it to be, what you just have to do is to operate the system to bring the latitude and longitude of the present location where we are.
Okay, you only give the location of the, not that you can penetrate the land.
No,
to do.
No, sir. Yes, sir.
So the use is limited in that regard. No problem. Well done.
Thank you.
Any further questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Isaac.
Yes, sir.
With this, we have come to the end of the staff category. And permit me, the last person that will speak under the HND category, the person is very much around now. So I will call upon Mr. Oluwa Mayowa. Mr. Oluwa Mayowa for your own presentation.
I'm very start.
Yes. So
I'm
you
very
have 5
sorry.
minutes.
I'm very sorry for the delay, sirs and mass. Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Agboluwaje Oluwamayowa Adelimu from the School of Engineering Technology. Agboluwaje Oluwamayowa Adelimu. Good evening, sirs and mass. Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Agboluwaje Oluwamayowa Adelimu from the School of Engineering Technology, Department of Electrical Electronics Engineering, Federal Polytechnic Ede. I'm here for the presentation of construction of gas liquid detector with climate monitoring system. In simple words, a gas liquid detector with a climate monitoring system is designed to detect the presence of specific gases and liquids in the environment, which means that it is constructed to detect a particular kind of gases because it can be used at home and it can be used in the industry. So it is not a one type detector that can only detect gas and cannot detect any other thing. It can also detect the humidity and the temperature of a room. Take for an example, you are not at home. You know, sometimes the gas that we use, the LPG gas that we use, the cooking gas that we use at home, the simple one that we use, it's odorless. But at the where it is being produced, they infused a particular odor to it so that when it's leaking, you can be able to smell it. But take for an example, you are on a trip, you are not at home, and you have a neighbor that maybe has another gas there, and your own gas is already leaking. You know, when it's contacted the fire, it can blow up. That's why we integrated an SMS base, whereas every 3 minutes it will send information to your SIM, where anywhere you are in the country, it will send information to you so that you can know the status of the climate, the humidity, and the pressure of your home, and also the state of the gas. So now, assuming you are not around, maybe you have your neighbor, you have anyone around you can call. Immediately it detects a particular gas or liquid that maybe for example your cooking gas has been leaking. It will start an alarm that it will begin to be blaring. So even it is so loud that other people can also hear, so that it can call their attention to the place. Also it can be used in industry and it can also be used at home. So this particular construction, it has the key components that are involved in this particular constructions. We have the gas sensor. The gas sensor is what that senses the gas. We make use of the MQ series, which is the MQ135, and then its own function is just to detect gas. And then we have the climate monitoring system. We make use of DHT11, which measures the temperature and the humidity. And then we have the microcontroller unit. We make use of the Arduino, which is the most simpler Arduino, because the particular construction is what a particular student like me, the component that we use are not all these complex components that we are not familiar with as a student, especially in this our environment. Nigeria, as even Southwest, come to Southwest, is what we students we are familiar with, in which students can also do it on their own. And then we have the display and the alert system. We make use of the liquid crystal display for real-time reading. It shows when it's booting, it shows the status of the gas, it shows the status of the liquid system. And this particular project, it's so portable, very, very portable, that you can hang it anywhere in your house, in your home. Even it's not as big that can take up space. It is very portable one that it can be easy to be placed where anyway. As a student now, I might make use of it because it's very portable. You know, we students, we live in a maybe self-con or a room, so it's not a thing that will take up space or will take up much power. And then the thing I will talk about is the working process. It is very simple, in which you can use. It's just for you to put it on. Very, very simple. Once you put it on, you have a particular SIM in the device, and then you have another SIM that is being connected to it that you will have on your phone, which can register your number. We have the SIM on your phone, so whenever it wants to send, whenever the information, it will send this to you. So it's just for you. It has a backup and it can be charged. It's just for you to hang it, and then it is very simple. So the applications, as I've said earlier, the application can be used in industry, just like maybe industry that make use of chemicals. It will detect, okay, this kind of particular chemical that is not supposed to be leaked will leak. It can be used at home, it can be used in school, it can be used anywhere. It can be used in school, it can be used anywhere. Thanks so much, sir.
Do we have any comments, questions, and contribution from member of the audience? Okay, then we move to the item. Well done.
Yes, sir.
You said something about starting with the leaf and which means you have two dedicated lines. Or does it mean that the one on your phone, can you use it for other activities, or is basically dedicated for sensing and the exchange of data information?
The reason why we streamline it there's a SIM particularly on the device alone. That one you cannot use, the device make use of it. And then we have another SIM that is for you personally alone. We not make it in a way that maybe is like maybe even sometimes if we want to do it, we can make, because now it's not in the market or it's just a prototype. We want to make use that is for you alone, that it cannot be able to be maybe some people that wants to steal in your place or that want to burn your house. They can know that maybe they have your friend that wants to do anything to you, know that it's been programmed. It can go there and alter it from your phone. So the other SIM is being dedicated to it. It's been, yes. That's why I said if you want to make use for order, because most time now most electronics are now personalized it, that it is only for you and you alone. It's only for you and you alone. So if you want to make use of it, you can request from us with the producers that give you your own personalized, do that it can only be for you alone, so that you can send.
I want to see that this is research in progress.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be having we have to detector. So why not at least try research or create the aspect of probably something that can neutralize such danger. You understand? Because even wherever you are, eventually the signal is there. So the danger must happen before rescue comes around. So how about thinking in the line of the odor is coming, what can we try and neutralize? Because we know the triangle that caused fire. Yeah. So you need oxygen.
Yes.
So probably maybe something like
what
that.
Can yes.
Oxygen
yes, I understand.
So I just want to expand your scope. So in that regard, since because the way you're talking about like you are patenting it. It's not something that is really available.
Yes.
That you had before. I know definitely in your literature review it must have been somewhere
yes,
else, or practically in our local market here.
Yes, sir.
So except we come to this,
yes, sir. I so much appreciate your comments, sir. Yes, sir.
Monitor what next? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any comment on the item, sir? Okay, if there is no comment, then you may take your leave. By this, we have come to the end of this presentation. Okay, with this, then the activity is hereby invited to come and inspect the physical project that they have outside to complete the grading, sir. bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti àwọn ND ni. Okay, àwọn ND okay. Àwọn wo ló wà ní ìtajì nínú jọ́nà WhatsApp yìí? Okay, àwọn náà ni ìyẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti mímọ́ bí tó lọ.
Kò sí náà. Àdúgbò lọ́bẹ̀ What about the ones that are harvesting at the hospital. Yes, and it's a foreign side. But what about if the mess is still up? Of course, wàhálà máa fẹ́ pààyàn lẹ́nu ìlú wa ní ọdún. When you are about to finish the industrial, you are doing really good. If I see the wedding, everybody wants now the basic principle and its complexity. By the time we get it down, you can know how to. The valuable might be, we might not be as big as the division. But kind of the agent in here, and this is a change. What is the Yagado? You are Yagado, madam. Ká lọ fáwọn àgbàdo. Àgbo olódi owó olódi ìyá lẹ́lẹ̀ náà ni. Tó máa ń wọ sísẹ́mù àgbàdo máa wà. Ó máa wá wọ bẹ̀rẹ̀. How will you adjust it up and down? You don't want to say.
wálẹ̀ bí ó wà tó sọ wálẹ̀ láti ó ti dúró ní àwọn ọ̀sán wálẹ̀ bí ó fà wálẹ̀ ní. Iṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ gan nìyẹn. Spiral ní. Ẹ̀dí mi ìjẹ̀ka kọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ o, ọ̀dà ìwà ń bọ̀ lè lẹ́nu. Kádó lélẹ̀ yìí, kádó jẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Ọ̀gá náà sà, iṣẹ́ ni ọ̀gbọ̀n tí mo gbé. Kádó ní ọ̀gbọ̀n tó ti pọ̀ sí ọ̀gá. Ọ̀fẹ́ sáájú ẹ̀rù wà sáájú ẹ̀rù. Ọ̀tá di bọ́kẹ́ di balẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ọ̀dọ̀ mi ìyàrá.
Without even using capture.
Very fast and very efficient.
Ní ajọ́ lọ pé ṣe táyà mọ́tò ẹ̀.
Tí wọ́n wá ní máa ṣàlẹ̀ sí.
Okay, you can use
It comes to the end of size 20 tire.
Okay, really? Within how many minutes? Did you calculate the time that you can use?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I know as an engineer, you have to be specific and bring details.
Àgbẹ̀lọba ń kọ́ báyìí. Àwọn hydroponics nígbà wọn kílé wọn ní o.
Àbẹ́ni kan ṣe é ṣe é.
Èsì nílé yìí. Ẹ̀sà ìdíkọ̀ kílé ìwé lè.
Maybe just extractor.
Okay, just extractor. Appearance matter, dress code. So you come for a defense, or gym, You understand? Anytime we are going to move, that is the stress that that's the number. In those days, I don't know how to ṣé ojú ìjọba tó lè lọ? Ilé ìdílé owó Offland and off-stand. These are the results of last This is why you transplant, yes, sir. You have the I will have the power. Every assembly is collapsible. Collapsible. You also carry it to Abuja. And so if I can get to this place, you can get to Abuja now.
You saw our electric vehicle. We took all of them to Abuja.
Yes, we are there last year together.
We took like 40 years we cannot take to Abuja. You go to Abuja.
Ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n ti sọ ní yunifásití báyìí. I have an affiliation to Ilaro Poly now.
ìwọ ọkùnrin kan náà ṣe ń bẹ̀ ní technical department ayédèké.
Yeah, these are just the start of So this is the antenna for the window is there, and this is sensor. That's the leg one that's in there, and two lines there. So when the water rises to the midpoint, it starts figuring. Like it has a seat, it has a seat, it has a number. We got Airtel number for it, and it's open on the thing. So when you release the water, the message will stop. When you load the water,
you design it based on your bad experience.
Yes, sir.
And the last one is
Okay. That's good.
He started rushing before we reached Abuja. He started rushing the bus.
Yeah.
We maintained the temperature up to Abuja.
Wow.
Yes. It's connected here. We have all the pictures. So we have the chickens before we go to Abuja. The first one was the
race were made locally.
Àti rí tí wọ́n ti wá lẹ́yìn tẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ìyá ẹ̀ díẹ̀ ló máa ń tẹ̀lé wà tẹ̀lé tẹ̀lé náà tó.
atomizer.
Even the main mechanism is
so simple. Everything plastic.
But power source
solar power.
Solar power.
We connected our inverter with the car battery. So allow the temperature to drop. Anyway, when the temperature is dropping, the sound an alarm. So it will trigger again. But it's not purely microcontroller.
But if you want to use it for another type of
we can. Whatever we develop, we are use it. We are ready to use it.
I remember when I was at Baba Karachi, we have a radio program. Okay, now we don't have our own solution. We don't have our own solution. And we always have a radio campus radio those days. We have not belong to the commercial level.
We are Ilaro Adi, 92.5 FM.
And your Ilaro. Do operation your two.
We operate all around the land. TV station has started too. Only TV has started. Yes, only TV has started.
What's your friend?
Yes, sir. Media department. They divided the àwọn àti káàdì ìjọba máa ń fọ̀ sílẹ̀ láti mú wọn lọ. By the time we have it, àwọn aráàlú abẹ́rẹ́ ti pariwo because we sell at very cheap rate until we finish selling Uber.
Okay,
Well done, no.
They won't like it. No, this is when we are stopping it. It's slab.
I will try to do that. Whatever we do that, whatever we develop it. You know, it's very important. That's what I'm saying. Undeveloped. So many efforts.
Yes, we have our director on that.
You just had the video. After that, the money you used to do to you want to buy the data. One of the challenges you are going to have, because that will produce a commercial level before you can compete with similar things outside. I remember that time we were even at the level we had to design the power supply with 256 volts. After design, the only thing we got then, God, you had the other thing. The only thing we got was the transformer. Do you know what? We bought 12 naira. And the converter being used outside that time. We want the normal plug. The whole thing was 12 naira. I might go to complete so that's another way, unless when the government and the industry come up to that. That's why when engineering will be given a better recognition. Most of the time, most of our brains, where we find it difficult, many of us go and read law. So we have been doing well done, sir. And then you want to say, you can go beginner school. It's a very big job. How many are you? Pane.
jẹ́ pé dvd ó dẹ̀ yẹ ká rí rẹ́kọ̀d tó a lè yọ̀ǹda tí wọ́n kàn máa lọ.
sáwà
àwa ìyá ń lọ rí rẹ́kọ̀d.
ok ó bẹ́tà. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Let's move closer, everybody.
Resort, please.
Let's move closer, all the participants.
This Compodet 2025 project competition for Southwest. We start from LD project.
Please, let's move closer, everybody.
ND project. After all the study and some other things, we have the following results. Idris Usman Timleyi score 61.33%. Olayaju Moradike score 57.67%. Arowosaye Dada score 56.17%. Folorunsho Matthew score 58.17%. So at the end of the day, Usman came first with 61.83, and Folorunsho Matthew came second with 58.17%, and the top position goes to Olaniyan Morenike, Olayeju Morenike Ovorola with 57.67%, and the fourth position to Mansurat Dada is called 56.17%. Thank you. At HLD level, I will call them together now. The first position goes to Ade Toru Dorcas with 73.33%. And the second position goes to Aketunde Favour, 71%. The third position goes to Ajala Ifeoluwa with 70.67%. The fourth position goes to Balogun Mustapha with 68.67%. While the fifth position goes to Agboluaje Olumayowa Adenina with 64.33%. Thank you.
No, it remains one.
It remains one. For our Oga, at the staff level, the first position scored 80.83%, and that is Engineer Oloyede EU. The second position scores 70%, and that goes to Engineer M.O. Adesina. While the top positions goes to Olaron Moye Isaac with 58%. Yes, sir. Say me, Abi.
On behalf of the executive of the Southwest Zonal Coordinator, members, the deans of all the polytechnics in the Southwest Nigeria, we appreciate the wonderful sense of judgment, how you have really assessed our participants here today. God will reward you better, and the effort that we've all put into making this occasion to be successful today, God will progress our nation technologically. The influence of this competition, there is no winner, there is no loser. So everybody that has struggled to be here, you are all appreciated, and we wish everybody journey mercy back home, and for us to prepare better for the national competition that is coming up in July.
I wish you all good luck. Thank you, and thank you.
ẹ ṣeun dájú ẹ ṣe àdúgbò ẹ ṣe o.